Many South Dakotans can trace their family back to Europe. Some make the trip to those countries so they can see where their family came from. They might even discover some distant relatives.
But for one German, his search for family brought him to South Dakota and a deeper understanding of his family tree. Cooper Seamer with more in our story here at 5:30.
German cities like Cologne and Berlin and rural South Dakota can seem to have little in common. From how people get around to the type of jobs, everything can seem completely alien from one another. But only a few generations ago, many living in both areas had relatives in the other thanks to large German immigration to the United States in the 18th and 19th centuries. That's the case for freelance filmmaker Hubertus Cook today. Born and raised in Germany, he recently became aware he has relatives living here in the United States thanks to a close aunt.
In those endless nights, drinking beer and having conversations, she told me about some Americans visiting when she was a little kid, like when she was 6 years old or something in the 60s.
Hubertus, who makes documentaries, was already wanting to come to the United States to work on his next project, to make a film about American politics and the 2024 presidential election. So a stop to see family after visiting New York and the East Coast and get their perspective on the upcoming election made sense. Thanks to family documents and connections, he had a good start on where to look.
And it's all split up between the German family and like two uncles who went to America in 1910. So I digged a little deeper. I made some phone calls to cousins and uncles.
That brought him to Salem and his distant cousins Dean and Joanne Cook. Welcoming German relatives to the United States is actually not that uncommon for the couple. They've had family come over since 1975, with Hubertus making the newest trip this year.
There's a lot of family that's there, and it's been really interesting, and when that started, of going back and forth.
Hubertus is the youngest family member to visit. While the Cooks know most of the older family members, they hope they get to meet the younger generations as well. And they're excited to see the films Hubertus has put together and the one he takes away from South Dakota.
I probably spent the whole afternoon going through and watching some of his documentaries. Some of the YouTube things, it would translate it into English, or I put on my Translate app on conversation and tried to catch some of it.
Dean and Joanne say while technology is making it easier and easier to stay connected with extended family, they need those younger generations to keep the links alive. They say they hope their family the same age as Hubertus can enjoy those relationships even as the family tree grows bigger and bigger. In Salem, Cooper Seamer, Dakota News Now.